Today, I'm going to be talking about confidence because confidence is something that you need in every aspect of your life to excel. But here's the thing, I'm not just going to be giving you 15 more tips that you've heard hundreds of times that actually don't work. What you actually need is to understand the neuroscience behind confidence so you can implement 2 to 3 things that will completely alter the way your brain works so that you can actually become confident. So to start off, we'll be discussing where confidence is actually from in our brain and understand why you are underconfident. Because the truth is that everyone's born with confidence. Yours is just masked. So basically, confidence is a part of your prefrontal cortex, and your prefrontal cortex is the part that basically makes the decisions and tells you, this is safe to do, you should not try this, you should do this, you should not give that speech because 10,000 of people are going to laugh at you, or you should give that speech because it's going to give you a great experience and you're going to gain so much. So your prefrontal cortex controls all of that, controls your confidence. And basically what happens is why you do not have confidence and why you lack it is because after a lot of negative experiences, memory is a really big part of it. So after a lot of negative experiences or some trauma or some fear, your brain keeps it in your mind and it instills it in your mind. It's like kind of painted in your brain that if you do this, this will happen, because your brain is designed for a fight or flight mode. So basically, if you had maybe one negative experience speaking in public, maybe someone laughed at you, or maybe you said something wrong, or maybe you got shy. You had one negative experience, never again, your brain still thinks that if I do this, then something horrible will happen, so I should not do this. And the unfortunate thing about this is that even though you know this experience is gonna do so much for me, is gonna bring so much strength to me, I'm gonna gain so much from it, your brain is not able to understand that because it is so much masked with fear, trauma, disturbance, etc. Because it's so highly masked, it's not able to evaluate the possible good outcomes, the great things that you're going to get in return. And that's why you aren't able to become confident and you're not able to achieve the things you want to, because truly your brain is not able to understand them and realize how important they are to you, because it thinks that it's going to create a very big issue. So how can we fix that so we can become more confident? Number one, memory. So like I previously mentioned, your brain holds on to experiences and things that have happened in the past. What you need to do to refix this is, of course, you can't get rid of past experiences. You can't just tell your brain, stop remembering these things, because especially with negative experiences, your brain really holds on to them. What you can do, on the other hand, is build more positive experiences to essentially overpower them in a way. How you can do this now. So of course, confidence building takes time, and you're not just gonna go and start giving a speech the minute you try to become and more confident. You can start with small little actions every single day. So you can start off by telling yourself, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and then wake up at 5 a.m. You can tell yourself every day, I'm going to study for 1 hour, start studying for 1 hour. What this does is, to you, it might seem like, oh, this is not making me more confident. But to your brain, it's reassuring that the decision that you make for yourself, even though you might not want to do them, you make them and you fulfill them and nothing goes wrong. In fact, you get better you receive something more after giving so much of your hard work and time and effort. So your brain starts to understand that the choices that you want to make are actually good for you. And that's when you start to notice a difference. And that's when you start building more positive memories, because your brain starts to think, oh, I solved this math problem the other day, so why wouldn't I be able to do this? I have this positive experience, so I'm definitely gonna gain more positive experiences. Although you may not, but your brain will start to think in that way, and that's really gonna help you. Now, apart from memory, there's 2 more things that really help, and that is number 1, your dopamine, and number 2, your serotonin. So dopamine is basically the reward factor of your brain, and what happens when you have negative experiences and hesitation and fear is that your dopamine basically thinks, your dopamine releasing neural pathway basically thinks that if I do this, I'm not gonna get any reward. In fact, I'm just gonna get something negative in return. So you need to give your brain rewards for trying new things, so that starts kind of getting out of that mindset in a way. You start kind of getting out of that mindset in a way, and you start getting rewards. So how you can do this is, like I previously mentioned, start with small little things and appreciate yourself for them. You made your bed one day, have a treat maybe, or you woke up at 5 a.m., do something you really much enjoy. You usually have so much homework and you finished it immediately, go out for a walk, go hang out with your friends, do something that basically triggers the dopamine in your brain to think, wow, trying new things and doing things I don't want to do and being brave gives me something good in return, so that your dopamine pushes you to do more things and become more confident. Because if you think about it, let's just take scrolling on Reels or watching YouTube or watching some sort of content as an example. your dopamine kicks in the minute you start watching it, and then you want to watch more. Why? Because you crave more dopamine. So the time when your dopamine kicks in, although it will take longer than it does to watch content, it will take longer for your dopamine to kick in when you do these small little things. After it kicks in, you're going to crave more and more of that dopamine. You're going to crave more of that positive validation in a way. So then you're going to start doing things that you don't want to do just for that kick of dopamine, and that's really going to help you. Now, the last thing is serotonin. So serotonin is basically the part of your brain that controls all your emotions. And when you have negative past experiences or you have fear, your serotonin levels go down. They make you feel scared. They make you feel really upset, and you just don't want to do these things. Or when you're trying to do something and you're not feeling confident, it's because your serotonin levels are down. So how can you fix that? You have to bring them up. How can you bring them up now? Now, this is something that I'm sure you guys have heard a lot, but here's the actual science behind why it works, and that is positive self-talk, and appreciating yourself, because it does boost your serotonin. It gives your brain kind of a signal like, wow, someone's appreciating you, even if that's yourself. Even if that's yourself just standing in front of a mirror, it makes the world difference, because it is boosting that chemical that's going to give you good emotions, negative emotions. So because it's boosting it, and it's and it's boosting the positive factor, when you go out to try something new, you're gonna want to crave that positivity, because your brain knows in the past that if I do things that I technically don't want to do, and I get this output. So then you start doing those things, and that's exactly how you rebuild confidence, by doing things you don't want to do, to rewire these 3 things of your brain. And also sticking with your promises and actually respecting yourself by doing the things that you say you're not going to do. and basically building your inner confidence, and building that confidence within your brain, that this person's going to do what they're going to do. Doesn't matter how I feel. So I might as well just align with helping them. Girl. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.